let's go right around. So everybody share one barrier, see if we can get some different barriers. So I'd like to share one of your barriers. All right, can we let's move out. It's a hard place to hear. We got a lot of people talking. So we're going to share barriers here. So can we say that again, please?
Workforce in general, lack of training, commitment, or really how do you hire the workforce?
Okay, trained workforce. So how about this table? What are your barriers?
The lack of media.
The lack of media.
Advertising.
Okay. So to reach out. So to promote your business?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so most of this focus on promoting Phoenix metro businesses. Okay.
And we also talked about how it is not known to what is available. For example,
Speak up.
I was asking about a mentoring service. I really appreciate that, and somebody said we actually have it. So maybe we need to let our people want to know what services we actually have available.
So yeah, how do you just market the services available?
Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah. That's what we just talked about.
We came up with facilities and overhead, just the cost of doing business in a physical location, whether it be in your home or a separate office building.
Okay. I know Chad was kind of talking about I think kind of the building codes. You know, can sometimes be a barrier. You know, new communities want to have codes, keep everything in line, so people are doing amazing things. Because sometimes it can be a barrier as well. Being building permits and cost of, you know, all the requirements of the building as well. Great. Oh, let's come over here. Competition for?
Well, when I do what I just fundraise things, so it's
okay.
kind of different thing here, and I'm all around the spots. I hold not just right here. Maybe what I do here is just it's not landlocked.
Okay.
Because
Okay. Okay. Very good. Well, let's come back to the table.
We also have commitment, transportation, finances, and diversity, education, respecting and understanding each other's culture. And coming together and unifying as one to get the job done for the people that we are servicing.
Okay. Okay. Very good.
We have lack of incubator space.
Okay. Okay. So now, how do you find incubator space? What's an incubator? What's that mean to you?
Small, flexible space that's affordable.
Okay.
Chamber of Commerce.
So you guys have incubators? Okay. Okay. Very good. Did you know that? Okay, so back to your marketing, your communication piece. So how about let's go back to this table right over here.
Something that wasn't mentioned was access to capital and working capital.
Okay, so what kind is that? Debt capital solely, or debt and equity capital?
Well, the capital part either, and the working capital is, right now it's hard to get a line of credit because if it was based on the value of your house, it isn't worth any. It isn't worth what it was before, so banks don't give you a line of credit either.
That's a tough one. I know in our community we have, our national banks are doing no business loans in ours. We have very strong local banks, big in, and we've got a lot of history in our little small communities. They're doing a lot. I mean, so we haven't been impacted by business loans. I mean, they're a little bit tighter because regulators are putting more pressure on the loans that they're making. So that makes them scrutinize things a little bit more. But our local banks are still loaning money. They're still looking for good deals. So, and then I think our last table right here. How about over here?
Lack of funding for operating. We have to operate mostly on a cash basis and their cost of advertising.
Okay, very good. So now, as we go through the rest of these, kind of think about some solutions to some of these barriers. And I think some of them are there. It sounds like the chamber has some good programs going, but nobody knows about it. So we're not the right.
Not from me lack of telling people.
Yeah. So maybe it's also active listening, and also if it doesn't apply to me right now, you know, I'm probably not going to listen to that. too. So you know, I know for Sursa, we've been going since '97, and we still get people say, "What do you do now?" You know, so we still get that. And we're in the paper. I mean, we're in the paper all the time, and we still get people like, "So what do you do?" Or we've been around so long, people have misconceptions of what we do. Well, you can't help me. You know, you only deal with those kind of people. Or you know, it's like no, we are a comprehensive set. Community colleges are open access. We work with any and everybody. So either they think we're not smart enough, or that we're not willing to work with a microloan. So there's misconceptions out there about what we do as well. So okay, great. Now let's go on to the next piece, which is the SWOT analysis. And let's kind of look at this the option, kind of look at the barrier, just kind of the negative. Let's kind of focus on the positive. What are some of the strengths of our community? So identify 3 of those. Identify 3 known needs your community region has systems that the entrepreneurship systems could meet. Then identify 5 people who could serve as a steering committee or advisory team member and why that would be a good fit. So let's start with that last one, actually. Start with that last one. I think that's the key to really bring the right people together, to really start putting together some goals and objectives for your community, start solving the barriers, start putting solutions in place. We'll focus on that last one to identify 5 people who could serve as a steering committee. And these are commitments. And this is where you can start pointing the finger at other people. I.e. her and him and him and her. But why would they be important? Why would they be good on this board to serve and to grow the entrepreneurial network? Think about that piece. Could be yourself. Nominate yourself. So again, you're not being nominated to do anything right now. But again, just to come together and really start discussing these things. Because as a community, I mean, you guys are the ones and gals in here are the ones that are going to solve this. I mean, it's up to you guys. I mean, you're here for a reason. So, I mean, you guys are the innate leaders in this community. You're here. I mean, that's why I look at it. You know, all the other people are probably up in Phoenix right now working. The other folks, there's other folks that I have no idea that this conversation is happening. So, who are those folks that you need to get at this table? Who are the ones that have created new ventures? Think broadly. Who's created businesses? Who's the CEO of a pretty neat company that lives in this community? Who's an angel investor? Who's invested in other businesses? Who's equity investor? You know, are there any equity investment companies in this area? Or who are the people? I know there's somebody in this community that's involved in working with an equity investment company.
What specific needs?
Yeah, specific name. Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple of people that are doing the training now. Jim and Larry. We got 3 of these folks here. You know, they should be involved in this. You know, Al from a community college perspective. You know, obviously there's some obvious folks, but I think we're really trying to find who are the people that aren't here today that need to be at the table to really help build systems and build long-lasting programs and services to grow your entrepreneurial venture. Sorry, Diane. I'll put you first on the list. Everybody write down at least one person. I see a couple blanks here. At least one person. Maybe yourself. Nominate yourself. You can't do anybody else. Everybody write at least one person. Now somebody take that blue sheet and start copying these names. You're not taking these names with you, okay?
Stay at home. Anthony Snyder, and there we go.
I see that, but I still see council.
Oh, you have this.
Okay, so let's get that blue page going on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on with this presentation. That will help answer some of these other questions here. What are 3 community strengths? You guys need to focus on that again. Let's get some of those written down. The lack of time, we need to keep going on.